now it's not a main point, but how much of an X factor is it that it's their home opener and they're going to have all the hype and all the kind of chaos you guys went through last night? You're going to have to deal with their situation.
Yeah, it can be a challenge. It can be an extra challenge for them as well. There's, like we've spoken about, there's a lot of extra emotions and anxiety. All these guys just want to get it going, and they've had to wait a little longer. So what that means, time will tell. But we're just excited to get into the process. Two similar styles. We get to, go against a real stingy, strong defensive group, and it's a challenge that we need to address, and we need to go after it. So I'm excited we're playing them, and excited to just get the season moving.
And what's it like you said, to have a game now that you can dissect after you've waited 5 or 6 days since the last
there's a lot of ways to describe that. Lack of sleep is one. So but it's nice. You can go through the film, and you're planning team meetings, special team meetings, defensive group meetings, offensive group meetings, line meetings, individual meetings. It's all going through your head to grab these guys, and obviously you're trying to minimize every single one of those components. Entries and entries against, and face-off plays. So, there's hundreds of different areas you could attack, and you're trying to figure, okay, what do I need to tell this player in this group, offense or defense or partners, line mates. So it's fun. This is what we love about coaching, and we finally have some film to put in front of these guys, and that's where they typically learn. We all wake up and we look in the mirror, and we know what we look like. You got to see yourself, and that's what the video does. You have to see yourself every day, and we have that now, and we'll use that every morning.
I know you always want to score first, but when you play this particular style, is it even more important, as you say, to maybe get them out of their defense? If you can maybe get them on their heels, if you can score first.
Strategically, you obviously want to attack before a team gets in its structure. And then when they're in their structure, you want to do things that get them out of their structure. So the simple yes, that is an objective with any team. Teams that are willing to try to play that game 1-0, 2-1. I think you have to have an element of patience, and what I mean by that is a very, I think a very hard focus on having a sense of objective. You don't need to go out over the boards and score. If it's in the D zone, you need to get it out of the D zone. If it's in the neutral zone, you need to get it into the offensive zone. So you have to have that sense of objective. We last night, I think, we gave up the first goal, and we turned the puck over. We turned the puck over, and they were in structure. And at that point, I think we were trying to get to offense a little bit instead of maybe get a puck behind them and get through neutral zone. So just a tweak on what you focus on, and you play a team that's willing to outscore you, Edmonton, and they'll say, we'll trade chances with you because we think we can outscore you. It's a different style of game, and for us, we have to part of every team is learning and more evolving as a team, and understanding the game that needs to be played that particular night. And we, after going through last night, will have a much better understanding going into game 2 of what that means.
As far as Jordan Greenway goes, he stood out last night. Just when he's on his game like he was last night, just like what did he see? Like, what's he doing, I guess?
He's engaging, physically engaging. He's using his reach, his athleticism to kill plays, disrupt plays, and he has a presence when he's on his game. There's a real presence to him. No compromise. Any of that is no compromise. He has a very good feel. He's got hockey sense. He knows where to get a puck. He knows spatial orientation is really good, and he's an athlete. He's agile for a big guy, and so when he's on his game, he's all of that.
What do you make of all the block shots last night? I mean, Trouba was a beast, and a lot of it is the team defending. But do you think they got in your shooters' heads a little bit in that third period, especially?
I think when you look at it, and even the eye test from the bench, when that's happening, you're probably passing up your first opportunity to shoot, and then they can time it and you just threw an extra fake, and then they can time it. And if you would have just grabbed it and shot it, but you're trying to pass it perfectly and make a perfect play, and it's an easier read to block the shot. They were willing, on a penalty kill, if you're not going to pick spots to be aggressive or influence or dictate, and you sit back, you have to block shots. They were willing to do that last night. Now that's a tough road. That's a bit of a playoff mindset. Probably a bigger challenge for 82 games. I mean, you're going to have a lot of guys sore after 20-some block shots. So if you do that again the next night and the next night and the next night, you're probably going to be down some guys too. So it was last night. It was obviously they were very strategic about it. But I thought if there's one thing we could have done, it was release it quicker. We kind of telegraphed shots late, and I think we can watch film and see that. So.
Obviously, it's only one of 82, but sometimes last year there was discussion about being unable to reset after games like that. After tonight, have you felt like you've seen better efforts towards resetting?
Well, I think resetting early now is so different than a little bit later. I think now it's more of that was their first game. Much like any pro sport, your first game is the chaos you have. Is something that will settle as game 2 and game 3 and game 4. Everything settles down from that standpoint. So, I don't think it's a matter of resetting. I think it's more just reacclimating back into regular season to hockey. For every team, it's going to take a little bit. And, game 1 is nice to have in the books for that. It's really useful in getting that process sped up.
Your group really seems, they communicate a lot with each other to try to solve problems throughout a game. Like, particularly the power play, and then this morning, Rasmus and Tage are on the ice working with Dan to sort of go through one-timers. I mean, have you seen them evolve, or maybe the substance of those conversations evolve, over the last year or so in terms of how they're going about trying to solve, situations like that, the power play, or even something at even strength?
Yes, they have a greater understanding of how to be successful in various situations. So when they're communicating, now they're communicating, and they actually have a vision of what they want to accomplish, and it's a collective vision, and that's taken some time, obviously. But these guys have now played and had enough repetitions together that's where they're at. That's the beauty of, you see the best power play units in the historic last year was Edmonton. That power play unit's been together for years now. And it wasn't until last year that they set a historic record. They didn't do it 5 years ago, but they were together 5 years ago. So it's always that evolution, and I love where our guys are very engaged and evolving, as I mentioned. It's not so much learning, it's evolving. It's, we've added this to our array. What can we do with it now? How can we attack it now differently? What are our strengths now? And how can we, maybe target and impose those strengths in a situation? And, they're recognizing, hey, this is a situation, we've talked about this. Maybe now we should be attacking the net. Now we should be, everybody's pulled toward Thompson. Now this opens up that next play. We didn't recognize that quick enough, but we know we should have.
It seemed like the Rangers really wanted to be physical on Benson. Just watching the game live, it looked like he held up just fine. Now that you've had a chance to go through it and look at it, how did you feel he held up against it?
Yeah, I thought Benson was physicality was no issue for him in the standpoint. He was certainly not intimidated. And even when Trouba, probably took 3 penalties on him there, realistically, I mean, if you look at it and you read the criteria, it probably could have been an easy call. And that's not a complaint. It's just watching the video. You can't call everything. So there's my disclaimer. But point being is it didn't bother Benson. He turned around, he grabbed him, and he actually held him back. Could have got a penalty for that, saying it didn't bother me. I'm not letting you get back in the play. And so he's a gamer. He's a competitive little guy that's hard to get. He reminds me of in that regard of Alex DeBrincat, who I was with in Chicago during his rookie year. He was just a tough player that you could not intimidate, and he wasn't going to go away. In fact, you probably are just inciting him to do more.
I think a chance to reflect and maybe watch some video. What do you like about the Green Bay middle stat Benson line last night?
They were consistent throughout. I thought, it was. They exemplified. I think all the lines. We fortunately we didn't try to do things too pretty because they didn't allow you. But I thought we could be a little bit grittier, a little bit more direct line, quicker to support pucks and things like that. But that line. I thought was consistent through the course of the game. There wasn't a lot of opportunity for them, but they certainly didn't give up much, which was, from what were our objectives early on in the season is to make sure we're paying attention to that. And we gave up. Unfortunately, we gave up maybe 4 chances, and one was a double, so 3 and one was a double, and ended up 2-0. We're down at the end of 1, but very limited chances. And so I guess to those guys. They'll be able to give us more offensively, but I thought they were pretty good as a unit, playing the game the right way.
What do you think of Connor Clifton? Seems like the intensity of regular season suits him a bit better maybe than preseason.
Absolutely, and he'll get better and better. It's hard, and Eric too. Eric Johnson. These guys, they want to fit in. They want to. We brought them here because they're ultimate team guys. But they don't know the team yet. I mean, I had a talk with Eric this morning too, and he's still getting to know his teammates. And last night was the first situation that he could see everybody on the bench, hear everybody talking. So for him, for both Eric Johnson and Connor Clifton, I liked their games last night, and the integration of them is a process for them. I mean, it's a new team, but Connor specifically last night was. The hit he threw on Wheeler by the bench was hard. I mean, I was 5 feet away. That was a heavy hit against a big guy, and you feel that one the rest of the game. And there were a couple others. So he's very imposing, and he played more toward his style, which is a little less conducive in the preseason. You don't see too many guys taking liberties and sending messages through hits in the preseason. But now that the puck drops in the regular season, it's a different ball game, and it's more his style.
All right, guys, we gotta go.